San Francisco is a funny city.
Laughing is very good.
Very healing.
Yes, it's very healing.
Yeah,
It's a good feeling. I love humor and I love to laugh.
My name is Will Durst. I've been reading the papers lately, and I've come to the conclusion if you're not confused, you're not paying attention.
Will Durst has worked in San Francisco for 14 years, which he says gives him an edge.
Although Clinton's looking pretty presidential. Now, if only she could dump her husband. One of the things that happens here, it's a very parochial town. You'll find that a lot of comics who are national names will come here and not have that big of a draw. They're very true to the ones that they consider their own.
Before coming to San Francisco, nobody gave a flying you-know-what about me. And it took people in San Francisco to say, hey, this chick is hot.
Whoopi Goldberg is considered one of San Francisco's own, along with Robin Williams, Dana Carvey, and Paula Poundstone.
The audiences were really interested in seeing sort of different stuff than had gone before, and the comics were into doing different stuff. Some stuff, by the way, that would never get laughs in another city.
It was almost 30 years ago at the Hungry Eye, the Purple Onion, and the Committee that comedy became a commodity in San Francisco, featuring then unknowns like Lenny Bruce, Phyllis Diller, and Mort Saul.
We thought that any legitimate idea will have an audience. Not everybody, just an audience. Enough people to come through the door and pay you $75 a week.
2 tickets, $20.
Today, there's more money to be made in comedy, but apparently it's not easy money.
The comedy club business is, it's a nickel and dime business. There isn't a lot of money to be made.
There are only 2 comedy clubs in San Francisco. A third club, the Improvisation, closed a few weeks ago due to the recession and to some extent television. If you can watch your favorite comedian on TV for free, why pay to go to a club?
It's different being in the actual crowd in the actual club. Just to get out. It's not the same watching it from the TV.
Raisins are a very important crop. I don't know if you realize this. But without raisins, gingerbread men couldn't see.
But the comedy scene isn't limited to just nightclubs. San Francisco is home to a free comedy day in the park each year. And for 18 years now, an international comedy competition.
You're a busboy. You know, extra, you're a busboy. That's why we call ourselves table maintenance personnel managers. Yeah.
Mick LaSalle covers the comedy scene for the San Francisco Chronicle, and he predicts a funny future for San Francisco.
I think that San Francisco will, I can't say will always, but definitely for the near future and for quite a while, be a fairly healthy comedy scene, or at least healthy compared to other parts of the country, because the talent is here, and there's just no denying that.
San Francisco, of course, was the country's comedy capital, and now the city's comedy competition is televised nationally. Now, if San Francisco is to maintain its current climb back to the top, how are new comedians going to continue to develop? Where those new comics will come from, and what they will have to do to become professionals. That's the subject of Wayne's Report tonight.
Steps. You watching the steps?
You would think just looking at this place here that this is a school, right? Wrong. It is a seedbed. At this age, a few are called smart Alecks, wiseacres, and class clowns. However, if that same few should never grow up as they grow older, they will eventually become our future comics.
For the youngsters at this age, there will be a long road to the professional stage. But for those who must, eventually they do make that transition from class clown to stand-up. And if you look for them, you might find them, say, at the Marin Junior Comedy Championship.
Our next contestant, please welcome to the stage, Miss Cinnamon Wilson.
Well, San Jose Imports presents a brand new revolutionary new idea in mementos. Presenting for the first time anywhere, scratch and sniff Elvis wallpaper.
Amateur means without pay, of course. Real money is probably no less than 10 years away. To support the effort, many hold jobs, like Cinnamon.
Can you put on Visa?
Visa? This is a 7-Eleven. This isn't Macy's.
Of course, maybe a 7-Eleven isn't a bad place for a young comic. You can experiment with the same line over and over with different people.
Would you like a bag? Would you like a bag?
As a group, amateur comedians simply have more options these days, like, would you believe, a classroom for stand-up comedy, like Frank Kidder's class, which he holds every now and then in Berkeley.
I love this ad. Maybe you've seen it. It's very subliminal. It's a battery ad, and it shows a kid and his father, and the father's, going to help the kid with his homework. And he says, "Oh, this homework, it's going to take all night." He says, "But Dad, I just put batteries in the calculator." Next shot, Dad is, and the kid is saying, "Look, the batteries lasted even longer than Dad." What is he, dead?
Slanderous minds want to know. Find out the real reason Nancy Reagan sleeps with a gun. Learn the secret ingredient that keeps Johnny Carson. I blew it. Learn the secret ingredient that helps Johnny.
They're able to get relaxed, and their own natural sense of humor starts coming out. And then I, as a director, can work and develop and give it the guidance that it needs.
But can you really teach comedy?
You can't teach somebody how to be funny. You can't teach them how to be weird and how to have a strange perspective on things or to think abstractly. He either has it or he doesn't. And I think anybody that says, "I'm going to teach you to be a comedian," right, is ripping you off.
Sometimes it requires me to be their buddy, their father, whatever needs to be done. I will do it for them to help develop their talents, comedic talents, that is.
There's a right way and a wrong way to throw a pie. Now, I just happen to have...
The best of the comics will tell you that you always have to study, classroom or not. Like this session, where working comedians actually critique each other's material, timing, and delivery.
And now the fun part, since I'm director today, I get to decide who gets the pie in the face. What do you think, Jose? I don't know.
But if you are an aspiring comic and you simply want a golden rule of comedy, this is it.
Stand up and do it. Over and over and over again. The Bay Area is very friendly for that sort of thing. There's lots of little clubs like here at the Holy City Zoo on Sunday and Monday nights where you can come in, sign up, do 5 or 10 minutes. If you bomb, that's too bad. You have to get up and do it again. That's part of the process.
We have a recession right now, and only 48% say that unemployment is the most important problem. See, the other 52% of the people have jobs. So it's evolution. It's a big issue. Half the people believe that evolution shouldn't be taught in schools, and the other half says that it should be. See, I think evolution should be taught in schools, but I think it's not funny. Evolution's not funny.
I'm 24 years old, and I'm sick and tired of wondering if I can get up there on stage and do it. Why don't I find out if I can do it, and if not, I'll go do what you're doing.
Oh, God, I was pulled over for drunk driving the other day. Can you believe that? I guess so, okay. I couldn't. I was on BART at the time, but I want to tell you.
In the jargon of the comic, it's called the flop sweats, the crash and burn. That terrible moment when you realize that life in comedy's fast lane might simply mean you're going to get run over. And if it's almost always that way for everyone in the beginning, why do it at all?
Stand-up comedy is the greatest art form in the world. It's the most free expression. Making yourself as vulnerable as you do in front of thousands of people instantaneously, you know. You don't have to wait for the critics to come out with a review. You already know whether you've made it or not. It's just you and the audience.
I've been Stephen Burrow. You've been great. Thank you. Hey, Mom, on top of the world!
If it is your desire to be a stand-up comedian someday, we wish you luck in your trek from class clown to class act. Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
Wayne points out the fact that we all appreciate the polished and professional comedians we see on television, Las Vegas, the movies, wherever. And he also asks you to remember that tomorrow's comedians really need your moral and your economic support right now. It is an investment that will literally bring you many happy returns.